Good morning, everybody. This is Michelle with Creative Operation, and today I'm going to share with you a series of videos. I'm going to start today and hopefully get them done in the next couple days, showing you actually how to put together several pages of my short, chunky mini album page combinations that I came up with that I showed you in the last several videos. And as I was going through my stash, I found this paper collection by Authentique called Frontier. It was done last year, but I found it pretty inexpensive at Tuesday Morning. Hint and tip, if you have a Tuesday morning around you, go check it out because they have great craft supplies. And you can get a lot of stuff, really nice stuff for a lot less expensive sometimes in the stores. And a lot of the stores that I have around here don't carry a lot of this stuff in the craft stores and in the local Michaels and Hobby Lobby and stuff. And so sometimes I can find some stuff that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know this existed when I saw it. I picked it up because I thought it was just super cute. So let's get started with this. This is my cover. I'm not going to show you how to put together a cover. If you guys really want me to, I will. Leave me a comment, ask some questions, but I know a lot of you already know how to do this, so I decided just to kind of put it together. But I'm going to show you elements that I'm going to put on the insides of the covers, and I'll show you actually how to do the pages. So to start off with, the covers, the chipboard that I made, the pieces were, you need two of them that are 8 3/4 by 6, and then the spine for this one, I'm making 3-page sets, is going to be 8 3/4 by 2. I wanted a 2-inch spine. I'm going to have 1/2-inch gussets between the pages, so that equals that out. The cardstock that I use to cover it is black, and it is the Artisan cardstock by Country Craft Creations, and I'll put a link in the comment section so that you can go to that store and check it out. It's really great cardstock, and it works really, really well, and no ripping, so that's really cool. So I used 2 pieces that I put together to cover this entire piece of chipboard. One piece was 12 by 10 3/4, and one piece was 4 3/4 by 10 3/4, and I attached the 2 together with a 1/4 inch of score tape, and then put my chipboard down on it. Use score tape at a 1/4 inch gusset on each side of the spine so that you have that 1/4 inch space in between, and put those together. And then out of the rest of that cardstock that I had left over from covering the front, I had a piece that was perfect to fit the inside spine piece. And that piece turned out to be 8 1/2 by 7 1/4. And then out of the scraps that I had left over from my pages, I used these 2 pieces to cover the rest of the chipboard on the inside. The other thing that I did was I had this great piece of ribbon that really fit the theme. This is a fabric, and it kind of reminds me of burlap, and so I went ahead and used that. It was a wired piece of ribbon, and I pulled the wires out. I cut the sewn edges off the sides, and then I put a piece of score tape, 1/4 inch on each side because it was a little bit too wide, and folded it over so it made a nice finished edge. And then I put score tape on the whole underside of it, and then wrapped it around the spine. And you want to do that before you cover the inside. Okay, so that made the spine, and I know that was a quick and dirty kind of way to talk about it, and I know that a lot of people already know how to cover books, and you may have your own way to do it, but the important pieces are the measurements of the chipboard for this particular book, which are, again, you need 2 pieces front and back at 8 3/4 by 6, and you need a piece that's 8 3/4 by 2, and then you can, pretty much cover it however you wanted, but this is how I decided I wanted to do it. So there's that. And then what I did was I come up with a couple different things that I want to do. So I'm going to put a pocket on one side, and I'm going to put a waterfall on the other side, and then we're going to have 3 pages in the middle. And my dog just came into my craft room. So I thought I heard something. Okay, so this waterfall here, you're going to have a base. And let's get this out of the way. So you'll have a base, and the base is 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then you're going to have 4 pages, and these pages are all going to be 6 3/4 by 4 1/4 wide, and then you're going to score at 1/2 inch, okay? And then with your handy dandy score tape, which I'm going to throw across the room, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put your score tape on here. Score tape is my go-to. I love score tape. If you want to use liquid glue, you can totally use liquid glue as well. But I'm just partial to score tape, so I use that a lot. So you're going to go ahead and put your score tape on these pieces here. And then the other thing I did was that I made these so that they will perfectly hold a 4x6 picture, okay? So the mats will end up being black, so I'm not going to cover these with pattern paper, and I did that on purpose. I really like to not have to cut my pictures too much, and so I designed it to be like that. So then take your piece here, line it up on the edge, and then you're just going to fold it down. I know a lot of you have done this before, so it's not a terribly new thing, but it is, it's a great way of adding way more pictures into your book. And then you're just going to take the next one and you're going to line it up and lay it down, okay? And I'm doing this a little bit quickly. You're going to want to burnish everything really well so it sticks really well, especially if you're using wet glue. That's pretty important. Okay. And then we're going to have one more. And I know the chipboard is black, so I apologize for that. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it fits for my book. All right, so, okay. And then what you can do is you can go back in later and get little strips of paper, and you can put kind of an accent piece of paper on each of these things, okay? So then we're going to have this, and then if you need to trim a little bit, you can go ahead and do that. And I am going to go ahead and do that so that it's nice and even. Just take off a little sliver because I didn't quite cut them. There we go. That's perfect. Okay. All right. So then in my book, put it on the front or the back. Doesn't really matter, but I think I'm going to put the waterfall on the front and I'm going to put the pocket in the back. And it's going to fit like this. And then we're going to need to do some kind of a closure. My closure for this is going to be my seam binding, okay? So basically all you'll need to do is turn your piece over and about the mid-mark, and if you want to be super precise, you can use your ruler and really center it, okay? And I'm going to put piece of score tape there, and then I'm going to put the center of my seam binding right across that. That'll help hold that. And then we're going to use more score tape, and where's my cutter? What did I do with my cutter? There it is. Oh, sorry, my head's in the way again. And all my papers are falling down. Sorry guys, this is a mess. Alright, so I do that. If you guys ever discover this, I actually threw a couple of these away before I even realized it. Little B washi tape has a cutter on it. Save these, they are awesome. You could also use, and I've seen a lot of people on YouTube do this, the edges of aluminum foil containers. You can take those and you can cut them with scissors. If you have Tim Holtz scissors, you can go ahead and cut those. And then you can mount them onto a piece of chipboard or something like that, make your own handle, and you can do that as well. So I have a couple of these. They work great. All right, put that down, make sure it's sticky. Okay, and then we're going to grab our book and we're going to center on the cover, and I am just going to eyeball it. Okay, so then that should stick it down really well. Okay, all right, and then with your seam binding, then you can just go ahead and tie a pretty little ribbon, and then we are perfect with the closure. And it's going to look really cute because it matches everything in the book. The seam binding that I'm using is from a company, The Girls Papery, and I've had this in my stash forever, and it's going to work good. I'm going to trim that a little bit later, but you get the idea. So now that's going to be nice when you get your pictures in. You're going to, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 4x6 pictures just in that piece right there that took not very long to make. Okay, so now I'm going to make a pocket for this side, and it's going to be a little bit different pocket than normal. So for this pocket, what I am intending on doing is making one that opens up all 4 directions so that you can put a bunch of stuff in here. And then I created, if you can see it, kind of a gusseted piece that is movable and expandable so that it could lie flat or it can expand a little bit with you know, the amount of stuff that you're putting in here. So what you're going to need is a piece that's 12 by 5.5. You're going to need one of those, and you're going to, on each end, you're going to start a score at 2, 2 1/8, and 2 1/4. And then you're going to turn it around and then do it again at 2, 2 1/8, and 2 1/4. And that gives you a nice 1/4 inch gusset in 1/8 inch increments so that it is movable and expandable. Okay, so you need one of those. And then you're going to need to make 2 of these pieces here. These are the side pieces. And you're going to score it at a half. Oh, well, I probably should tell you how long to cut it. It's going to be 7.5 tall by 4 wide, and you're going to score it at a 1/2 inch, at 5/8, and at 3/4. Okay, and you're going to make 2 of those. All right. I rounded the corners because I like the look of that. And then we're going to go ahead and put it together. So you notice that I put score tape on both sides. We're going to adhere this onto the back just up to this first 1/2 inch score line. Okay, so let's just do that. The score tape on the other side is for putting it actually in the book because I was trying to get it ready and try and save some time. So I'm going to look at my score lines here and stick it down. You don't want to cover your score lines. You want to be right above them. Okay, so then that one will fold in like that, and then the next one will do the same thing. And I didn't have a lot of extra big pieces of my pattern paper, so I don't think I'm going to cover the inside of this, but I am, pardon my head if it's in the way, I am going to cover the flaps. Okay, so now we have a piece, and then how this is going to fold is like this, this, and this. We're going to add a closure here and then stick it in the book, and then when you're ready to open it, you can just lay pictures, memorabilia, tickets, whatever in here, and then open it up, and you kind of have a nice little hodgepodge of stuff that you could put in here, which I think is kind of cool. So let's start with the inside, and I just cut pieces that will fit here. So these pieces here, I like to cut them so that there's 1/8 of an inch of space that you can see the cardstock. So these measure 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, rounded the corners. I inked the edges. I inked the edges on everything on my stuff. I use Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I like that. And I just did a little light inking on the edges because it is white core. So I got 2 of these, and again I tried to do it so we didn't spend a whole lot of time. Trying to do this kind of quickly. Okay, just like that. And then we've got the 2 sides. I used a 1/2 inch corner rounder. You can use any one you want, doesn't really matter. I just like the way it looks. I thought it looked kind of pretty. So I'm just eyeballing this. There we go. This will not only make it pretty because of the pattern paper and stuff, but it also will make the flaps a little more sturdy as well, depending on which cardstock you're using. Okay, so there's that. All right, so then I've got this, oh, and these, did I tell you what these were? These were, never get my ruler right, these were 3 inches by 7 1/4, and these are 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, same measurements for the other side. Okay, so you'll need 4 total of these and 4 total of these. Now I decided to do a string closure on these, and I found the tutorial. It's not my idea, so I didn't think that I probably should show you how to do it since it isn't my tutorial, but I will give you the link for it. It's by a lady who has a site called My Creative Spirit, and she had a video just recently at the end of March on how to make these, and I saw it and I thought it was super cool idea. So I went ahead and put them together and put them on my outside pieces, and I'll leave the link so that you can go ahead and go to her site and see how she did it. It's really a cool idea. Okay, so these are my pieces that are going to go on the front here. So I already made the string closure piece and already added it to my paper. And so I used some crochet thread that I had for the string. I was thinking about using embroidery floss, but I wasn't sure how sturdy it was going to be, so I decided to use the crochet thread instead. And it's also a little bit thinner, so I thought it might work a little bit better. We're going to find out. And go ahead, and there's the 2 front pieces, and then we've got the 2 top pieces. These are going to end up inside these flaps. And again, these were all from scraps that I had left over from making my base pages, which we will probably do in another video. Okay? So, okay. All right, so we did that. So these will fold in, this will fold in, and then we have our string closure here, and there you go. And you can do it however you want, and then cut it like that. Okay, so that part's done. Then what we're going to do with this piece is we're going to stick it on the inside of the back cover. So, eyeballing again. There we go. And then you'll have it, it'll open. You can put all kinds of awesome memorabilia in here, extra pictures, tickets, whatever you have into this envelope. And the cool thing about it is I like the fact that it opens up all the way. You can fit a lot of stuff in here, but it opens all the way so you can get it out easier too, which is kind of nice. So there's that. All right, so we have our cover done, except for decoration, and that'll be another day. And we have our, our waterfall, closure with the seam binding. You can hold 9 pictures in there, and then we have our envelope. Okay, so that's what I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be back, and we will start working on pages. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.